Hey everyone, I want to talk today about some LCS player news that has me pretty excited personally, and I think it's something that might affect the landscape of the LCS a little bit. Maybe this summer, maybe going into next year. There's been a residency change on a player in the global contracts database in NA, and it's not somebody you might be thinking this is going to be about. It's not Someday, who's pretty well known that he's pursuing a green card. It's not Core JJ, who I think is also pursuing a green card. It's actually Immortals Academy mid laner Pretty. Pretty is a player who's been playing in Academy with Immortals. They recently got knocked out of Proving Grounds, but he's actually been able to switch his residency from European to North American, and this is for a couple of reasons. One is that he has one parent who is Australian, so under the changes this year where Oceanic players are able to be considered domestic players in NA, he's able to take on that citizenship. I assume he has dual citizenship himself or something along those lines has allowed him to take on that, to claim that kind of Oceanic status, which makes him a resident player in NA. And since he never played in the LEC in Europe, he only played, EU Masters level, kind of the secondary tier in Europe, he was not locked in permanently to European residency. So he's been able to take on North American domestic player status. And what that means is that now there's a lot more opportunity for orgs to get him into the LCS lineup. So I've been a really big fan of Pretty. You've probably seen his name a lot in some of my content, talking about Academy standouts and things like that. I'm very excited about him. I think he's one of the better players at the Academy level. And I think even if he was considered an import, he was playing at a level that should have given him a chance to break into LCS for 2022. I don't know that would have been a sure thing. I think it would have depended on, obviously, how the rest of the year played out and all of that. But as a domestic player, when it's so hard to come by really strong mid laners with NA residency status, it makes it a much more compelling player to look at and to fit in. So I think there's a chance that we'll see him at least get some time and share some stage time with Immortals in the LCS in the summer split. Even if not, though, I think going into 2022, it'll be really interesting to see. So to give you some idea of why I'm so high on Pretty, why I think this is a big deal, he's just, some of the things that really impressed me about him is the ways he understands the subtleties of mid lane play. It's not just about his ability to win 1v1 lane matches and things like that. It's about his map awareness, his river control, his understanding of using different wave states. A game that I often like to use to highlight his play is one that he played in Galio back in the Academy regular season. And Immortals Academy lost that game, but the things that Pretty was doing to always be in the right place on the map, to be moving out to help emerging situations in the river or in the side lanes, really demonstrated what he understands about how to play that kind of style. But, it's not just about his ability to be kind of a roamer or a utility or a support style mid laner. He also can carry really hard. In the Proving Grounds tournament, up until when Immortals Academy were knocked out, he had 637 damage per minute, which is a really high number. He's had some really big pop-off performances, like an 11-1-10 game on Lucian, another 12-5-11 game. He's had scorelines like 5-0-8 and 5-2-14 on Orianna, 7-0-2 on Azir. So he can have these really high kill, high damage output games. And he plays a lot of different champions. He can play these control mages, as we're seeing. He can play the marksman like Lucian. He can play Echo and Silas and be a very diverse kind of a player. He's got experience doing different things. So all around, I think he's just the full package. He's a really exciting player to watch going forward. And I want to be clear here that I don't think Insanity has played himself out of a spot on Immortals. It's not like, oh, finally Immortals, they can promote Pretty and solve all their problems. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying Pretty, on his own merits, has earned this kind of distinction and this kind of call out that Immortals, I think they owe it to themselves and to Pretty to at least try it out in scrims or things like that, and to see whether he can help them out in the summer split. And even if it's not the best fit, even if they are better as a team with Insanity, to kind of work up his value and potentially sign him as an LCS spot for 2022, or another org will pick him up and move on with that. So very excited to see what happens with Pretty. To have him, with this residency change, I assume he intends to stick around to NA and try to break into the LCS. And I think he definitely has the quality as a player to do that.